FunnyAnimatorJimTV, and we're on Lichess right now. This is going to be my first game of the day. Now, because it's going to be my first game of the day, I may make some kind of blunder, or I might not play very well. So we're just going to go casual. We'll just go with this 10 plus 5. So we're going to try this out. E3. Interesting. C3, so he's taking control of this square. So I'll just occupy the center. If he plays D4, I'll probably just push on and gain good space. And his dark squared bishop is pretty bad. Okay, so this is like a French defense, but he's wasted tempo. Let's just defend here. So he's putting a lot of pressure. So he's playing like a French defense. That's exactly what he's playing like. To continue, let's just defend pawn again. Oh no, I just lost my own pawn. I just lost 2 pawns. I just lost 2 pawns. Are you kidding me? I just lost 2 pawns. Yep. Dang it. And the only thing I can do at this point is go to here. So I've lost 2 pawns now. Which I'm really... Oh! Okay, so he completely closed this off. So now that dark squared bishop is not going to be having any activity whatsoever. So... I believe that will force the exchange of queens. Okay, so he's a pawn up. I'm going on the king side. Unlike his, my dark squared bishop can have influence. Or no, my bad bishop can. This bishop, not so sure about it. I mean, maybe I could do something like this. Or up to here. Maybe. Probably not, because he's got pawns on this side to kick it away. Anyway, we are going for this first. Now he wants to get my good bishop. I don't mind if he does. Because now I have my good bishop here. And... how could I possibly get my knight up there? Let's just start throwing thrust up already. Because, as we all know, the pawns point in the direction so if we move I wouldn't, if he puts his bishop here or here, I wouldn't mind swapping it off. Okay, now he wants to open up a file or something. So now he's opened the file, but I need that square. But he's got contesters for the square. I'm going to change the board theme. That one looks good. Okay. So he's got contesters for that square, so I can't just jump in there or I'll lose a pawn. And I don't want his dark squared bishop to open up. How could I possibly do that? Well, maybe I could have just another supporter on that square. So I could bring this here. No, but then he can check me. This is interesting development that's going on. What to do about this? Because now he's just clobbered me in that square. However, I do have this square I could go for. So if I could get my knight here, but how to do that? Let's just play this. And then bring the rook over here and this rook. We just got to bring the rooks into this game. And there is an increment, so if we lose some time, it won't be too bad. Probably shouldn't have done that because now my pawns are completely obliterated. How do I protect my pawns? I don't think I can. Guess I just have to protect this and then I could just bring my knight over. My bishop's protecting this pawn, but I'm really not liking this setup that I'm having. I don't think he's going to be bringing these pawns in anytime soon, the A and the B pawns. Unfortunately, I have to succumb to defense, babysitting those pawns. I'm looking for a plan that revolves around maybe knight f6 to d5. Just blockade the position. And now he's putting that pawn there. So, oh no, I can't do that because I would block my bishop out. Yeah, see, we can see the power of those bishops are being unleashed, and they weren't before. This would be the only move. Yeah, I guess it is. So now we can follow up with this plan, because we won't be blocking our bishop. So now we can go ahead with this plan, and we're also hitting his bishop in the process, which is good. And we want to block the center. Oh, shoot. Dang it. No. Are you kidding me? Now we've lost another pawn. Oh, yeah. I can just resign here. That was the worst thing ever because now he just takes and he forks the king and the bishop. And there's nothing I can do to save that. Let's take a look at that analysis. Yeah, it's gonna lag a lot. Whoa, what? Let's see. Here. Whoa. King takes f1. And then I have to defend the pawn, and he comes up. And that wasn't a good move, I guess. Knight here. And that was a blunder. Yeah, I just forgot about my bishop down here. I kind of forgot about this piece. You know, all I was just doing is just defending. But anyway, that wasn't a very good game at all. So let's finish up these correspondence games. So he's putting pressure on my pawn. I've got it defended once. But here I'm just going to kick that knight. And if he takes mine, then I'll just take it back. So now he's put his knight here, and he's putting pressure on the pawn. So I pretty much have to do this. And if he doubles my pawns, if he doubles my pawns, I'm okay with that. And then this is the Catalan opening. He's fianchettoed on the opposite side, so that's something I can keep in mind. Let's get the bishop out. F4, G5. I don't want double pawn, so we're going to G5, which is a typical move in the Queen's Gambit declined, which is what this opening derives from. So we can see here, see it's gone into a Queen's Gambit declined. And I chose the Catalan variation. So we're just making basic Queen's Gambit decline moves with the bishop G5 and maybe Queen C2, and then followed by E3, because we want to get our bishop outside the pawn chain before we play E3. Because if we had played E3 now, then that bishop wouldn't have gotten any influence. So we bring the bishop outside the pawn chain, and now we can safely play E3 without hemming in our bishop. So that's the idea behind that. Let's try one more casual game here. Let's do 5 plus 8. Let's see what he does. If he plays E4, then I'll just play knight C6. And if he plays D4, I'll play knight F6. So, let's get this. That's just the system that I use, the repertoire. I keep switching between knight C6 and the Sicilian defense. Right now I'm going through knight C6 phase. What is he doing? Oh, he's not even online. Abort. So, there we go, that looks good. So once again, if he plays E4, knight C6, if he plays D4, then knight F6. Okay, he plays D4, so we're going knight F6. If he plays C4, E6. Okay, he plays bishop G5. So let's play C6. And then if he plays E3, then we win a P. Okay. We will capture with the E pawn, I guess. And queen out, I think. Oh, I guess, yeah, the knight's gonna come out. Now the knight comes out, so we're gonna do this and hopefully give white double pawns. Yeah, we're just gonna castle here and fight in D5. So then we do that, and then after he captures with the knight, then we play D5. Oh, I just realized this gives us an isolated pawn. Are you kidding me? I didn't even notice that. Oh well. I'll have to get used to the fact that I have an isolated pawn. However, his pawn would be blocking. Okay. I will gladly cancel the option of getting an isolated pawn. And I'd like to dissolve my doubled pawns. Okay, what's he gonna do here? So he either has to take or push, but if he pushes, He put his queen in front of his king. So I'll give him an isolated pawn. Okay, he took with the queen, so then that gives him an isolated pawn, which I can certainly put a piece in front of, which is great. The question is, does my knight belong there or my bishop? It'll take a few moves to get my knight, so for now I'll put my bishop there. He castles queenside. No, I don't want him to ruin my pawn structure. So I'll do this and threaten that pawn. It's protected by the bishop. I don't like that board. Let's just change the board theme. Marinara sauce, maybe. Okay, what's he planning on doing? The only way I can see him defending the pawn is rook back to e1. However, take note that if I remove that isolated pawn, I would win a pawn, but I wouldn't have this kind of a shield. So in a way, I should be kind of glad that he plays this rook to e1, because this pawn is acting like a shield from his rook to my bishop. Actually, I think if he played any kind of move, such as, I don't know, bishop e2, bishop d3 rather, and I took, we just come over here and skewer my bishop and knight. So, now that I think about it, I'm going to use that pawn to my advantage. He can't attack me from the front. That pawn would be in the way. So that's good for me. Spoon. Okay, he plays rook e1. So I'm not going to take that. I'm just going to continue with my development. I've got this guy all figured out. This c6 move, very good in restricting the enemy pieces. And if I want, I could bring my rook over and protect that bishop. So I've got my rooks on the central files, and now I completely hem that bishop in. There's no chance he's gonna do that. So now his rook is passively guarding that pawn, so I can't take the pawn. I can get rid of this bishop if I wanted to, because this bishop is sitting on a very good diagonal. It's being very constructive. It's not very blocked this way, but white's king is on that side, so that's good. And my king, his king is a little closer to the center because he's castled queenside, of course, so he could easily just jump in like this. Now he wants to try and block that diagonal. However, he's unprotected his knight. So just something to keep in mind. I still cannot capture this pawn because of his rook, but my knight needs to be improved. I need to improve this piece. I could bring it over here and then here, But I mean, oh, I see, his knight can just move, and then he's got this pawn. So we're just gonna go up here. Maybe we consider knight there, in front of the isolated pawn, if we can exchange the bishop off. We also opened up our file in the process. I don't think I'm going to be using the D file, even though it's a semi-open file. I'm probably just going to double the rooks on the D file. Okay, he wants to swap the bishops. So I'm not going to let him swap, because after rook takes, the pawn is guarding the square that I'd like to double the rooks on. So I can't do that. I mean, it just looks weird, just he's offering doubled pawns. My knight would be very active there. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. And then depending on what he does, if he brings his knight over there, then I'll move my knight into there. So, you know, it's just stuff. So I'll put this rook here. And then depending on the circumstances, I can either bring this rook to here or this rook to here, double on either file. He does have weaknesses. He does have this weakness here. Now he's opening that up. So we'll just have that. I'll just keep that the way it is. I just centralize my king a little bit. Just get it closer this direction. Okay, so he's going to want to push that. So we're just going to block it. We're just going to block it. Our knight is pretty comfortable. If needed, he can just jump over and do stuff. So we're just going to double on this file for now. So we completely dominate this file. I could put my rook on the 7th. No, well, no, I mean, I could just bring this king over, bring the knight, and then bring the king. Yeah, let's do that. And once I bring the king over, or the knight, rather, then I can sit my king as the blockader of the isolated pawn. What would be wrong with that? Moves his pawn up. Okay, probably wants to give support to his knight. If the thing is, if we stop that, then this pawn becomes weak and he can start piling up on it. This f5 pawn would become a target, and the square in front of it is blocked. So I will just wait until he puts his knight there, and then I'll exchange the knights and then put my king in front. So in the meantime, what can we do to improve the position? It's just, oh no, we can't do that. Let's just increase the pressure. We're just increasing the pressure. Boom. And now if he takes, then my king gets a very nice post. And he can't push that pawn forward. Yeah, let's go ahead. Take that. And then if he takes with the pawn, then we swap knights. We swap knights. Oh! Yeah, go ahead. Alright, and then the king gets a nice post. And this pawn is protecting that square, so if he decides to advance this pawn, then he will find some difficulties. So if he brings his rook down to defend, which he does, he could also swing over here and attack this pawn. I don't think this pawn is defendable. Alright. Okay then. Let's see, if I take this, he moves down. Check. He moves, and then I go down here. Problem. Big problem. Well, this is the best plan I have. Yeah. So I have to protect my second rank. I pretty much just have no chance here. Check. Yep, I'll just have to hope that he doesn't know how to checkmate with a king and a rook. I'll just have to hope that he doesn't know how. Or he just gets a stalemate on me. However, remember that this is casual. Oh no, I could have gone up. Boom. Straight back. Oh. Yeah. Oh well. That was bad. Alright. Well, thank you for watching.